Okay. I think we're I
Okay.
see. Yes, I see we have a pavilion. I think I turned my volume down because you're a little quieter than usual. There, that'll
Hmm.
help. Now I can hear you better.
It
Um,
might also be that I need to make sure that
no,
I'm using the right microphone.
I think it's all me on my end.
Okay.
I really need to get like earphones that work so that I
Mhm.
cannot have my microphone pick up my speakers
Ah,
because I have to keep the volume kind of low so it doesn't pick that up. But hello, people. Hello, Bavalia. I assume you saying hey means you see us and you can hear us and we sound okay. Hello,
yeah,
Nemo.
I hope so.
Yeah. Hello, George. Ooh, George, you're gonna be so excited in the scheme of us being of the people that do the most, right? That we were talking about. I've been making a graphic for the Conlanging weekly live streams, except I'm not done it, so I can't show it, unfortunately. And a
Eh,
bib. We have a bib. It's trash right now, that Jake. It's really trash. My fancy graphic.
I'm sure that it's better than anything I would have been able to put together.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
if
I forget.
after like the weird comment interactions and things, I'm just like, I need to from the outset say that like I have barely trained in linguistics. Like, if you have any any comments for me, first of all, target them at me, not at Maddie. And secondly, lower your expectations because like it's hard to do
I don't
things.
know who would ever watch conlanging content on my channel and have high expectations. Like,
I don't know. People on YouTube don't really know what they're talking.
yeah, fair.
Hi everyone. No,
Oh my god, wait,
it's
Debo, what's the you want to see the horrible graphic? I don't know if you really want
yeah.
to see the
I
horrible
want to see
graphic.
the graphic.
It's okay, okay. I'll show you where it is right now. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this, and then we can get started on the conlanging adventure. Uh, share screen. We're working at a level I can keep up with, says Bavilia. Yes.
No, but this is it, right? Like this isn't a stream titled 100% facts about every language you know and love.
We could
This
change the
is
name though to that.
no. I would die. I,
This is what I've got so far of our lovely
what's
graphic.
the questionable E on George for?
I can't remember if George has an E, and I haven't checked yet. So it's currently a question mark of whether there's an E in George or not. I know a George that doesn't have an E in the end, but I can't remember if it's our George. Which George, you can just enlighten us on stream right now.
I'm I'm almost yeah, it does have
Okay.
like I feel like if it doesn't have an E, it's the Russian name like Georg, isn't it? Oh,
How
German.
I know nothing. Remember?
I feel like I feel like as someone who does like writing, knowing that the name George usually has an E in English, it's something we could say is within your wheelhouse.
I don't know. People do weird stuff.
Uh, no, people are right. It's not Slavic. It's Scandinavian and continental Germanic for
Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't
George.
know a German George, but I know a George without an E, so I don't know where that came from. Or maybe it was just a typo I saw at some point, and like I remember nothing, but I'll remember the one time it was a typo, you know?
Mm.
That would fit for me. All right. Um, oh no, why are you? Okay. Also wrote David. This hasn't been spell checked. This I will say that's the third time I've spelt David's name wrong. And one time Jesse saw it and was like, that's not his name. And I was like, oh no. Yes, I remember the Sound of Music.
Who was it
The
that
dude.
wrote Peter Davidson?
Oh, that was totally me. I've done that. I mean,
Okay.
I think a lot of people have done that though. Apparently
Yeah.
that's a common like, I switch things in my brain, like, you should have seen me in calculus, it was a hot mess.
Hmm.
Um,
You know that that's the fact that Americans call it calculus means that it sounds a lot fancier than any maths I ever studied.
well, I mean, did you take calculus?
We don't split our maths classes up like that. We just have a class called math.
Oh, really? Huh. You know, we
Like,
like to label everything. You have your algebra and your geometry, and then you get into your pre-calc and your trigonometry, and then your calculuses, and it's ugh.
well,
Like,
we covered topics called algebra and trigonometry, but we didn't have separate classes or anything.
okay, fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Here
All right.
we go.
Okay,
So,
so
it's time for the big reveal. I feel like if this was in person, I would do a little drum roll, but I don't want to get anyone like I
too
don't know,
excited?
not too excited. I don't want to annoy anyone with bad like microphone. I'll do
Oh,
a tiny drum roll and then I'll stop.
okay.
Okay. Or is this highlighted one the one we're doing?
No, I think you
Okay,
highlight no,
I
yeah, we
highlight.
highlighted that last time. Okay, so if anyone's curious, at the end of the last stream, we decided that at the beginning of this stream, I would declare which stress system I wanted to go with, which is this is mainly what we talked about last time. Which of these versions we wanted to use. Um and I do have a decision. So proceed to your drum roll, and if all of you at home would like to add your own drum roll for your own personal benefit, feel free, we won't stop you.
Okay, I've done my tiny drum roll.
Okay. I vote tracheic left edge.
Okay, exciting.
That's I feel like isn't that the most like basic B of stress ones that we've got
No,
here?
no,
No?
no.
Mm,
Anything that's left is
weird.
relatively I don't know what the right word is. Like rare but not unheard of.
Perfect.
Um yeah.
Sorry about your floor magico. Tell the police I say hi.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Yes. So tracheic left edge stress patterns. And this is just to be clear because I wasn't positive and I decided not to ask for clarification. Is
Hmm.
this the stress pattern for the proto or the stress pattern for our Italianate daughter?
We are gonna go with this for proto.
Okay, that's what I thought.
When we move into the Korean inspired one, um, we're going to um, we're going to have to shift some stuff around, which will be
Okay.
fun. I think.
Do I need to put that up here somewhere? At some point, I need to like spend some time cleaning this up. But where does that go? Or does it go at the bottom where we had it?
Mm,
Hello, Skarka? I don't know how to pronounce that. You'll have to advise me if
uh,
needed.
I'm gonna guess Kaka, but that was a non-rhotic pronunciation.
Fair.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it just affects sound changes. So um,
So I'm just gonna put it there. Watch me spell that wrong.
yep.
Uh,
Okay.
do
I can't roll my R's, Nemo. I can't roll my R's. I can do a retroflex. Skarka, 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 skarka. But I can't do a roll.
Well, I actually have a very good idea for you, Jake, that will solve this problem entirely and with no issues whatsoever.
Is it rolling my R against my chin?
No. No.
No.
So you know how in K-pop they have the little hat thing they use? We're gonna get you a little button that is a rolled R, and every time you
Rolled
get there,
R.
you just press the button, and then you keep talking, and it's effortless,
I'll
seamless.
I'll find an appropriate like thing.
Okay.
K-pop K-pop being something that's on your radar is actually exciting and also threatening is what he's trying to I it's
Yeah.
like I'm actually like before we I know that we're trying to like be a bit more productive this week. But like how because we haven't last time it was right after the relay and I feel
Yeah.
like we we were kind of just dazed by the sheer amount of content that we
Yeah.
consumed. How did you Miles how did you like from a conlanging perspective, how did the relay make you feel?
Um, I mean, I will say, like, watching all the videos, like, it was very entertaining. I don't think it is a format where, like, it helped me actually understand more about what else is out there. Like, it definitely, like, I can see that there's a lot of stuff out there, and I'm like, whoa, all this stuff is psycho bananas, and I don't, like, realistically know what any of it is. But it's definitely, you know, I don't know. I don't wanna say it's overwhelming because that's too strong of a word, but it's definitely very much like, "Ah, yes, confirmation that I know so few things about so many things."
I will say, like, with the relay, especially with so many like cursed conlangs, like,
Mm,
um, I feel like you're not giving yourself enough credit. And also, like, we all end up being victim sounds like too strong a word. We all have flaws that are just things that we don't don't know enough about. That
mhm,
like each like the fact that is Nemo saying like you did very well translating out of Takvamir, right? Like you knew what you were doing, and
eventually.
there were other people who for it's not for anyone's fault or anything. Just the nature of a conlang relay is that things go wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes the eggs become no, the books become eggs or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, um, sometimes the spiders disappear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, spiders. Yeah, it's supposed to go wrong.
but yeah, if it changes, it's going right is the way I
Mhm.
would do it. Like yeah. Anyway, um, I kind of want to clean this section up.
Yeah, we have a lot of, like, informational stuff in here that, like, now that we sort of or maybe we need to, like okay, so we wanna clean up this sound changes section, right? Um,
um,
because I feel like some of the notes we wanna keep, and we almost need to, like, shoot off to, like, a separate notes page or something, just so if I need to go back to it, I can, but, like, it would definitely behoove us to have a cleaner thing to look at here.
I I don't think it helps us to go through like writing up the sound changes is something that um I mean I don't know if people on the stream is if they want to see how I would write these sound changes up, we can do that. Otherwise, like I there's some of what I end up doing for Let's Have a Booba is just cleaning up the document in between streams because
Ooh.
I don't think it's a particularly exciting.
No. I mean, they're arguing
Scott
over whether or not
yeah,
they
Scott wants to see
um,
it. Okay, so
so
um, what was I going to suggest?
I feel like
Okay,
I
I
wanna
think
keep it somewhere because, like, if we're doing more of these, I feel like the more we have something that I can kind of orient myself with and kind of get on top of it will lead me to being more aware of what we're doing over time, but I don't think it needs to be necessarily here.
I'm a bit confused because so oh yeah, it was. Were we deciding? I think that we said we would go with the spirantization, which means we're not doing this phonation shift,
Mm,
which means that this stuff isn't all that useful.
okay.
Okay, so phonation of aspirated thought. Do you like this formatting? Is this I think that for anyone who knows more about conlanging, it's going to be like this first one. I think is we need more description.
I would
First of
agree
all,
with that.
so when a tenuous stop is followed by H, your coalesces to A and S. Okay, cool.
Okay.
The experimentization. So that do you understand what's happening here, right? Or do I need to?
I assume tenuous means not aspirated?
Yeah.
I
So
don't
tenuous
remember. Yeah.
here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so then I follow what that means.
I don't want to go too off track, but I did realize a little something. So basically, like this rule clears. So we have like also it should be plosive, but see this is the problem with when you have like on one hand like Logan will sometimes tune in to Let's Have a Booba and be like, actually there's a difference between stops and plosives. And
Mm.
I'm just like, yeah, like let's use that notation. And then on the other hand, it's like if I say you know what a plosive is as well, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'll go with plosive for now, but stop is the easier description.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so this means that like if we have, and I need to like write it out like this, like appa, it's going to become um, uh, duh, 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 appa. There is
Mhm.
then a question of if we get appa, what happens? And if we have appa, because these are all possible in
Mm.
our system.
Yeah.
Um, and these are small things, but they do they do come and find you when you end up actually making things further down the line.
Mhm.
Anyway, we can leave those as question marks for now. So,
Okay.
spiritization of aspirated stops.
Mhm.
So, a plosive plus stop. Aspirated becomes fricative when did I get rid of too much too early?
I don't know.
Voice stop lenition. Tenuous stop voicing. The thing is, like this doesn't match with this. So I think that this, in theory, would have had to have come here, but we did want the fricatives.
Mhm.
So I'm going to put that there,
Okay.
which means that this gets to go here. So voice plus. So I'm worried I didn't explain what the change was very well. So let me do that. So basically, this rule here, this rule turns the series of aspirated stops into voiceless or unvoiced, voiceless fricatives. So that's going to mean that we have an F, and we're going to go with keeping it S, I think.
Mhm.
We are using the alveopalatal, not alveo, post-alveolar pronunciations here, which means that we're going with sh and h.
Okay.
And so these ones are new. I think I go with this screen. And it does mean that all of these, this we often will put in orange.
Okay.
That basically just means like it didn't exist at proto, and it doesn't exist now, but at one point it did exist.
Okay. I like it.
Okay. So that's that.
Mhm.
And so this does the same thing basically. So it says you have a voiced plosive, and this we're doing across the board, I think.
Mhm. I think so.
So the voiced plosives are going to become fricatives,
Mhm.
and it looks the same as the result down there. We are going to say that it's between vowels. So basically, when you have a consonant between vowels, it means that the it's in an environment where it has like the when you say a vowel, you have basically no restriction of the, well, not no, because there is some from the, anyway, like you can say a vowel for as long as you physically can, which that's true for all, but like if you like e, like there isn't like a point at which you're like what is I am very much like not the right person to be trying to do this formally, but anyway, like you know, like you can just like keep going, because there's no, like there's some restriction, but it's so minor, and there's no frication, right?
Yeah.
So like you can do this with like like is possible to say, but like if you go with like a stop, like nasal stops you can, so like but a plosive, so you can't be like you end up like
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
like it just doesn't work. And yeah, with the labial ones you end up getting close to like right.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
I'm gonna say it's a skarka. I know that this is probably mildly confusing, but this isn't anywhere near the middle of the process.
No. So just for mild context, just for what we're working on right now, is Jake is helping me do daughter languages, so we're working on sound changes right now, right? Like that's the high level
Yeah.
concept behind this. So one of the daughter languages is mildly inspired to be Italianate sounding. So we're kind of reviewing and making sure I understand the sound changes that we are gonna try to apply for this specific daughter language in the process, of which there will be many. And have we decided which one this is yet, actually?
This is we haven't decided which geographical area
Right.
it's assigned to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of these.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We
I
see
don't
your
know.
profile picture on the stream now, Jonathan.
Yeah, I see it.
You can't. It's not showing up on YouTube though. It's one of those
Oh.
funny cases. The most boot-like island.
That's a good idea, Vivilia. But the problem is we haven't done all the maps in there yet either. So like I just know there will
You
be
need to make Boot World. We need
Boot
Boot
World.
Island.
I like it. We'll get on that.
Bootland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holding plosive for germinates or whatever just means prolonging the silence before the release.
Okay, so if you like Italian has these, right? So I do not know Italian enough to actually like come up with a good example. And like like I know examples in Japanese. So like so Japanese has like teform, which is described in loads of different ways, and I don't want to commit to one on a stream. But it takes a verb, and I'm gonna like go with a very regular one. So like, so to come goes from kuru to kite. But where is that kite? There's a whole song that I could sing for you if I really wanted to, but I don't think I want to right now. I'm trying to remember which is it. It's cut, I think. It's I think it's to cut, which is kiru from like kirimasu.
Mm.
And that becomes kitte. Kitte. So you have kite versus kitte. So if you say kite kudasai, this would be like come please, like come forward. I mean, it doesn't specify forward, but like it'd be like a polite way to ask someone to come towards you. And then kitte kudasai would be like please cut it.
Okay. Okay.
Finnish loves the geminate. Japanese has a lot of geminates. The ones in Korean. Oh, you didn't scroll down. If you click on my face.
What do you mean? I did. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Miles's comment, and then I was like, "Oh, good catch!" And then I
okay.
found you.
Yeah. I can put them in hiragana or like I'll do it for the demonstration that I do actually have a Japanese keyboard. Anyway, so like, oh, the one that's coming up for me is yeah. There we go. And then so this is called I'm just gonna like usually you just call it small two, like chisaitsu. But there's another word for it that I can't remember. Anyway, this is useless for you because you can't read Japanese. Anyway,
I'm like, "Oh, a nice little swooshy dude."
I put it here for completeness. This thing here is why this is like that.
Okay.
And like like this is how you would write kippu, which means stamp. And I don't think that kibu, like there isn't a equivalent word which is like, as far as I know, there isn't a word kipu. It sounds almost like kipu in. Do you know what a kipu is? It's not Japanese.
No.
You might have also seen it written like this. So these are the Incan nuts that they used for. Most people these days think that it was more like an advanced kind of memory aid. People spelling it QHI are wrong. It's spelled in standard Quechua KHIP. At least in southern Quechua. So anyway, after that long tangent, at least we're only half an hour into the stream, unless yes,
we've done legitimate things.
It's more than we can say for most of the.
We're getting there.
So basically, the voiced plosives are weakening to fricatives between the vowels.
Miles is feeling spicy today.
What's Miles being spicy about?
Can you tell when he's wrong?
Yeah, like what we actually know about Incan era keepers is also affected by the fact that often the materials that were used, where they weren't always dyed with light fast dyes, and so when we look at them now, they can look like the threads are the same color, but they might have been different colors before, and we can test them for traces, but we can't always tell. So
Makes sense.
for so this is tenuous dot voice. Also, lenition is kind of vague. It's fine though. Also, I often you'd write it as voicing, I guess. Anyway,
Okay.
so this is stop. I don't know if tenuous is really a plus. I feel like it's more minus aspirated minus voiced. Anyway,
Okay.
I don't really know how this stuff is supposed to work. I'll just put whatever is correct. Is goes to voiced.
Okay.
So this is it's important that this happens after this because it means that everywhere that we have a voiced stop between vowels, it will. Oh, and this is also between vowels.
Okay. So they chain?
Or would you do this between voice segments? So, for an example, actually, let's see if any of it doesn't have to be just stops. So, I'll put a question mark in. So, if it was obstruent, all obstruents. So, knowing that at this point we have a series of voiced fricatives. So, question for you: do you prefer having one thing in each square? Oh, we have this set up, so I don't have to worry.
Mhm.
V is the like if we really wanted to, we could use like fancier like fancier IPA.
Mhm.
Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah, that one.
Mm.
Like, which would basically be like I think we talked about this earlier. Like we're going with F.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, just a quick note, as Nemo has already noticed, I would like to note that I do have this book now. And so if you need me to reference something in the book, that is something that can happen at some point.
I feel like the best thing for you is probably if you can work out if I'm not telling you where we are, then I'm doing my job very badly. But like if you know where we are, I
Mhm,
think that you'll feel more comfortable with following what's happening, if
mhm.
that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, do you remember what this one is?
Okay, give me a second. Is that the one that's like Z, or like the ZH kinda sound? Like zh, zh.
Yep. Ja. Like in Vision.
10 points.
10 points to Maddie.
Also,
Um,
dude, how dare you say this isn't a textbook class? This is a textbook class. Everyone watching should buy this.
yeah. I see George saying that that's one way to do it if you like binary features. I don't know if I like binary features. It's a I feel like sometimes it seems good and sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
Um, which I think is true for any theory. Anyway, where was I? So this would mean that, and we can put stress on this now.
Okay.
Um, I think it's that one. I always find it really hard to read the. No, it's not that. It's not that. No. There we go. So I think that you're not gonna like trying to pronounce this because
Oh.
it goes against what we do in English. Although I think in American English, I've read some people do have this. So can you try and say this word for me?
Okay. Okay, hold on. So so I'm trying to say it right the first time, and there's so many little parts to pronounce. Okay, so it's ulcer.
Ulcers. But it's ulcers. Ulcers. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it quite right, which is the thing that I think often happens with uh I don't know, like um
It kinda sounds like ulcers, but more eh.
yeah. Well, yeah. Jonathan's saying that my schwa sounds closer to what I would call strut vowel, but my strut vowel is also very front, like relatively to some speakers, as
Mm,
far as I'm aware. So I feel like it's like hard for me to like. But also, I think American strut vowels are very close to schwa as well.
I don't know what a strep bell is at all.
It's just a vowel in strut.
Oh, strut?
Wait, that's uh. Can you say that again?
Strut? Strut?
That sounds really far front to me. To me, that sounds like strat.
I don't know what to tell you.
It, I, no, it's one of these things where like you're saying this word, right?
Yeah, strut.
It sounds so much like there's a front vowel in there to me, and I don't know enough about American English. Why? Also, Jonathan saying it doesn't sound like that to them is really throwing me off. I'm like, why am I hearing it like that?
I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay, very well. Okay. Stret. Oh, George also.
Basically, you have the L here is voiced. So in this table, I think this is ordered correctly, yeah. So the way things are ordered here, the trill actually is slightly less voiced than the approximates. But in general, like you're going from most voiced to least voiced, although these are arguable here. But anyway, so you have that sort of structure. And voiced is probably the wrong word, mostly sonorous. It's called the sonority hierarchy. Have you heard?
Yeah. I have heard that before.
Yeah. So the L is more sonorous than the S, which means, and emphasis on mean, I don't want to write out IPA for English, but when you say means, this S here sounds like a Z.
Yes.
Actually, I don't think this works because we also have words like mince, which sound like it ends like mince. Mince.
Yeah.
Mince. Mince.
Mince.
Mince.
Mince. Mince.
Mince.
Mince. Yeah.
Because the problem is that just contrasts with mince. But I think that I don't. I think that I insert the T, which makes them sound the same.
Mince.
Anyway, I don't want to go on that tangent right now, and I'm sure people are already. No, they follow the hierarchy. Basically, what I'm saying is, one way to have more voiced fricatives, if you wanted them, would be to say in a word like ulcers, that this would become. Also, I want to change that vowel so badly. Like we're gonna change that so soon. So it could become ulzers. Because you have a voiced thing here and a voiced thing here. And so this one is between two voiced things. And this one is right after a voiced thing. However, I would say that I don't particularly like the idea of so if you have a word like alpa, then in theory that could become alba in that situation. I don't know if I love that or not. I think that I'm trying to think for Korean, like obviously in Italian, I think that both alba and alpa are distinguished as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So it's not going to sound more or less Italian by changing those there. And one thing we do want to do is create geminates at some point. So that means that we're going to want to have places where if we have a VCCV, that these consonants become more similar to each other, and then we'll end up with V long CEV. But it's not going to be everything everywhere all at once.
Right. Okay.
And this we're not worrying about.
Okay.
So I guess the question is, this is also where I went away, and I remember I started reading my book about the, because I have my if you make me big again, I have my book of people. What, George? What's so bad about Gemini? It's noted with the long marker.
I just hear that song now.
Yeah, as soon as I also there's one point in the CopyCon talks that I got to where David says, "Wait, wait, wait," and I was just like, "Yes, it has arrived."
I've started hearing it just out and about in the wild now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Conlanging, you're just joshing.
Fair.
Okay. Anywho, I guess it's that one thing is that we're going to maybe have more limited coda consonants, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was that I was trying to remember what I thought was a sound change, where you had something that was like a RS cluster that was then becoming some kind of S. But I don't think I ever found it or where I had got that from, and then I felt silly because I was like, what am I doing with but I can see it in here because you have a protoform HERS, hertz, which is becoming herstu, hertzi, hertze, and his and being used in like Hestegorri and Sinsureste. And I don't know, like, anyway, I think that that's going to be my homework for the week, is going to be, I'm going to put this near goals, Italianate daughter. So look up the details of the RS thing, Jake, and make notes. So we'll worry about that in another stream because knowing us, we're not going to get much further.
Probably not.
This was why Maddie was like, "Is there something that we can try and get done this stream?" And I feel like this is how I know you haven't seen enough Let's Have a Booba, because we spend so long on phonology.
Yeah.
And it's George, the first time I remember quite early on in Let's Have a Booba, George was like, "You're spending so long on sound changes. It's take ages to decide on anything."
This is good. This is honestly really good for me because we're really like stewing in it, which is very good for me because this is what I'm really trying to pick up on and understand. You know what I mean? And everyone
Uh-huh.
else can just suffer for my benefit,
Okay. So one thing is
Right.
that the more that I say it, the more that I'm not sure. So I'm gonna make this is already a heading one. So grammar there, and then we'll put a seed line OG proto grammar. And that's gonna be heading 2. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna do another subheading, which is like just grammar of indeterminate origin. So, well, basically because one of the ideas is that, so one of the things that's very obvious with Italian is that they like to end things with vowels.
Mhm.
And so, like making sure that we have a way to get lots of final a, e, or u, e seems
Yeah.
important, basically.
Yeah.
And one way to do this is just to have our nouns can end with a CC cluster. But if we make sure that we shove on a final vowel, then it's gonna sound fine. That's what I'm
Mhm.
telling myself. I'm like, I can make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that, like, I'm not sure entirely. This is the sort of thing where David would be really great at teaching you this, because David likes doing these kinds of systems from my viewing experience, and I feel
Mhm.
like I usually end up doing some like weird stuff that doesn't fully make sense. I think it's partly just a hangover from making Yatlao.
Mm.
Yatlao is very strange in a lot of ways, and I do love it, and I will defend it to the end of my days. But at the same time, I'm just like, why did I do all of that? Anyway, um, one thing is, if we do want to keep these very short,
Mhm.
um, and we want everything to sound like it has those in the end. Well, not everything, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Um, the reality is that we probably are going to need some things that are CV.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say to make it easier. Like, I think picking those carefully is quite important, because, for example, if we made the accusative or the locative po, right?
Yeah.
Then if we go to like our list, then like if we just like shoved po at the end of all of these, you'd be like Ursurspa, Yulochpa, Ulokchpa, Uralorpa, Chadmapa, Litpa,
Mm.
Flodochpa, Agpa. Like, it doesn't sound great.
Mhm.
David really likes using ba as as like the gap form or something.
Well, something to note there, though, is also, are we even gonna like, that wouldn't probably come up that much when we're talking about primarily using this stuff for nouns that are just names, right? Like, you probably wouldn't stick those in there, would you?
What?
Like, the end
I
result of these, right? Like, if
um
we're primarily using words and stuff for, like, either the names of things or, like, they wouldn't be used in grammatical sentences in the language, it would just be, like, single words. So, like, I could see that not actually coming up as often, so it might not need to be that big of a factor.
it depends on um it depends on the structure of names.
Mhm,
And it might be that like Jonathan's saying,
mhm,
you like depending on how you make names, like um because if we are just like completely bypassing vowels, not vowels, verbs, or doing the very minimum with them,
mhm,
then actually spending a lot of time on sound changes is the best thing, because all that you're really gonna get is just a whole bunch of like um like it's just gonna be a lot of like um trying to make sure that you have obvious, like not obvious in a very strong way, but interesting correspondences between different
mhm.
sounds.
Yeah,
Um, like not to self dox, but like there's the major city I'm from is South, literally called Southend on Sea,
yeah,
right? Which this is a locative preposition that's in the middle of the name of my town.
yeah.
And so if you had like a if you had a name for somewhere that was um is like I don't know what to use as an example, um because going with something very bland doesn't like it was very
Western
hard to make something up, because like if we had a map, like I'm trying to think of like cool things that we've thought could happen, uh like 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 a fort on the river,
Mhm,
and when it's founded, it's just called this,
right.
and we don't have a word for fort, and we don't have a word for river yet. Um but um like we have a word for amber is uloch,
Mhm.
and fire is, are there volcanoes in this? I assume not, because the magma would have to travel really far up. But
Yeah, probably not any active volcanoes, but they could have, like, the proto-culture would probably have volcanoes.
I guess if there was a myth that was really old, then
Mhm,
like the amber fire would be essentially what this place is called.
right.
Um, and then they could have a new one, which is amber fire on the river,
Yeah,
and so it would be uloch nebo bo, and then river.
whatever that
So,
is.
so so you could like
Mhm,
just as an example, um depending on the what you do here will
mhm.
affect how you choose to create place names,
Yeah,
but also how you want to make place names for this language will affect the grammar that you want. Like like for example, if you wanted a like a very marked genitive,
Mm,
then it could be the river's amplifier. Could be how you express that.
right.
Um, or if you have a instrumental, to be honest, you're not going to have an instrumental without a locative. But if you had an instrumental as well, or something that means like by, like
Mm,
in the UK, I feel like we have loads of place names, which is like X. We have not loads, but we have X on blank, and we have X or on Y. Literally, hey on Y. Uh, you can have X by the Y. You can have X under Y. Like there's so much grammar stuff that you can put
mhm.
into, and you don't have to do that. Like there's basically like when I think about Mandarin place names, there's basically no grammar in anything. Basically,
Yeah.
because uh, everything's expressed through apposition, right?
Mm,
Um, like um, like Shanghai, uh, they didn't like my S there for some reason. Like Shanghai is like over the sea,
mm,
right? And but there's nothing that says the, and there's nothing that says that. Like this is used as a it's now I'm gonna embarrass myself because I don't know if it's considered like a like you can use it as, is that a preposition or is it a postposition? Anyway, you can do stuff with shang and you can do stuff with hai, but basically there's very little grammar there. And now I'm gonna pretend I never did that. And
yeah.
um whereas yeah, like there's plenty of bits
Mm.
and bobs in English. Um
It is something very interesting to think about because, like, we've talked a lot about obviously doing the sound changes of you have, our proto seedling, right, that we're changing in a lot of different ways. But are we going to do the same thing for grammar and for, I guess, I don't know what grammar encompasses, but like the way place names and the way like people names and stuff like that work, where we have a starting thing and then there's ways for the grammar to evolve? Like, is that something? Okay. Oh boy.
Everything comes. Well, this is very David-y, but
Okay.
David's mantra is basically that everything comes from somewhere.
Okay. Because that'll
Um,
obviously, like, the sound changes, like you said, will be really important here, but then also whatever grammatical bits are relevant for naming places and, people. And eventually, like, there'll be other words, and I won't necessarily know what they will be until I get to the stories for these of, like, what other things I might need to name, like, if I wanna have any sayings in the language or if I wanna have, like, um,
if
I
you
don't know,
want
like,
sayings, you're gonna need a full language.
yeah. Which, like, at that point, if I get to a language or to one of these stories where I'm like, I need sayings and more things in the language, I would probably then have to go and, like, flesh it out a lot more, but my assumption is that most of these I would not need that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
that'll be
it it's one of the awkward things with like I feel like you can't really know um like how much you're gonna need before you get there.
yeah.
And also, I feel like the more that we give you before you get there, the more that you might be like, "Oh, I can. What if I did this and what if I did that?" Like, like how with your Ausmalau,
Mm,
like you've done so much because even though you started off with it having a very specific purpose, like obviously, like, there were bits of the text that became commands, but,
Mhm,
like, you not everything that you did is framed that way, you know? So,
mhm.
um, like, I think that you're much more capable than you imagine.
I think I accidentally stumble upon capability accidentally
Yeah.
sometimes. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think we'll have to see. And yeah, George was saying you can always turn a naming language into a full language if you have a solid base, which I feel like is our idea here. Like, we'll have a base of like the basics of what we'll need. If I need to go back and expand it later, I can. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we definitely need to be able to name places, like all of our pillars as we make all our pillar maps, and we need to be able to name all our weird dragons and our weird like that'll definitely be an early thing even before I get to the stories in the worlds.
Mhm.
Can't wait for the book where you have the protagonist overhearing an entire conversation in a language they don't understand. You need a special audience for that.
Well, have you read anything by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie?
Doubtful?
Okay. Um, like, have you heard of, like, Americana and Half of a Yellow Sun?
Doubtful?
Okay. Um, like, she won, like, a bunch of literary prizes for her writing. She's, like, the one of the foremost Nigerian authors, um, up there with, like, Achille Bembe and, um, Ayobami Adebayo and all of them.
Mhm.
And, like, for authors who are writing in people writing in languages that are more widespread than the native ones, like if they're writing about a context that's bilingual in any way, so like in Half of a Yellow Sun, there are entire sections that are written in Igbo,
Hmm.
and um, they're not translated anywhere. And the effect is that, like, if you're I think that part of it is that it would have to make sense for your writing, because obviously if the language that the person is hearing is supposed to be, like, I don't love that this is how it works, but, like, you know how we basically pretend that the language is English?
Yes, like as if it was translated into English, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to have, like, two languages and then have the English equivalent be very different to the other language.
Mm,
So, like, say that you write a story for your Korean-ish based world, and then there's a random, or they go to a place where everyone speaks this Italian one, and then suddenly you can have sections that are in this language that, like, I don't know. I think that for conlangs it's different because the idea would be that if you're Igbo and you pick up Half of a Yellow Sun, someone could, in theory, read the Igbo and understand this. And yeah,
mm.
Mauser's Mauser's partner has written a book about this. Yeah,
Oh,
um, yeah, with Spanish.
yeah. I mean, and it gets into, like, even just problems I'm gonna have when I get to the book that has the spell language in it, because translation is part of the thing, and I have a naming language for the, like, the modern like, well, not modern day, but, like, the current day in the book people, right? Which
Mm,
is very different from the spell language, and I have kind of looked at what those phonologies or sounds inventories look like compared to each other.
mm,
And it's like, oh, there's going to be a lot of sounds in these spells that these people don't necessarily know how to pronounce. And that's a whole thing. And like trying
mm,
to portray that when they also talk in English and like they may say something that's in English, right? And then they're like, "Oh, but I don't know how to pronounce this that is a sound that's literally in what they just said." Like it's going to be weird.
But this reminds me of the no, it's not quite the same. I won't use that example. But I've seen conversations with people who they are interested in conlangs and how languages other than English might be different. But because they write in English, they want to change the English that they use, like as if it were conlang. Like
Mm,
they re-engineer bits of English to make sense in the world, rather than using it as like loan words or whatever.
mm, yeah.
Um, and you can end up. I feel like is if you start making people if people start referring to sounds in like I don't know how you get around that. Like because if you started trying to explain that the phonologies are different in the course of the text, like
Mm,
you may just but the thing is I'm like, oh well if you had an appendix, but I don't know any many books that like are of this style that would have an appendix.
yeah. It's I either need
Um,
to like have it just be one of those like things where they just say, "Oh, you like I don't know. I either need to do something weird and just not try too hard or just pretend that it's not a thing because it'll be very hard to do without like being very confusing.
mm,
Yeah. It's a rough life trying to find the balance with all of that stuff.
yeah. I mean, to Jonathan's point, if you're a really good translator, you might be able to make a rhyme or a pun where there's a pun. But obviously you don't expect them to be the same.
Mhm.
Um, and but like I've read very good translations between English and Spanish where like um the thing that comes to mind, and it's silly because like it manages to work in a lot of languages, is you know where the cats go when they die, purgatory.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
in Spanish you can be like um ¿Dónde van los gatos cuando se mueren? A purgatorio.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Mm. Yeah, it's hard. It's tricky because it's like you got to decide how much you're going to like I don't know, how hard you're going for the bit, I guess.
oh, I think yeah, Jonathan's right that I misunderstood what they were saying. It's like when you know they when you get scenes of you get it's especially prevalent I think with like mummy stories, like where you have people archaeologists in Egypt and they're like, "Oh, there's an ancient Egyptian riddle. What does it say?" And the whole thing happens to rhyme in English, and there's no reason why someone who is translating a riddle for the first time as as they're translating it that it would make any sense for it to rhyme in English when it comes
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I see
that's
that, yeah,
I
like, if
think
they're actually
that's
interfacing with
the
it.
I think that I was thinking of it from like like outside of the world itself. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with both points, and it's hard. It's a hard life. I came to the conclusion today that I'm probably gonna have to include a pronunciation guide for my names just because people apparently like them, and I'm just like, "Ugh." And then
But
all the other stuff, ugh.
you can get you can get someone who knows how to write pronunciation guides well to help you with it.
Mhm. But see, they're
Like,
also gonna have to help me with figuring out how do you pronounce all
no, but the thing is that as long as as long as you're half regular in how you do it, it
Mm,
will be fine.
okay, okay. Yeah, I'll have to
Anyway,
find someone who can do that, but yeah.
um, basically,
You're talking about
so
Poe?
what I'm hearing from you, I think I've convinced you now. We do
Mm.
have to have some grammar.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Yes, this is what we're doing, but the thing is, like, I feel like these streams, we're, like, treating them as if it was a series, right? But we have said before, like, we could do an episode where it's just, like, what what do you actually what are you actually saying when you pronounce Ausmalau?
Mhm. I mean, yeah, which I do have
Which
a
we
thing
can
that I
do
need to
next
do
week
for
if you
that.
want.
I do need to do
Um,
that.
so so one thing is that, um, one option that I had thought about was the so if I say copy vowel, do you know what I mean?
No.
Okay. So, a copy vowel is when, you you have a like say you have a form that's like consonant, vowel, consonant, and you decide that actually you don't want coda consonants and you need a vowel here.
Mm,
In English, we usually will throw a schwa in because that's our epenthetic vowel. But what some languages will do is they'll say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to add another vowel. And what we're going to take this vowel here and we're just going to make another one. So
okay,
if you had a word coop, it would become kupu. But
okay.
if I give you a word lot, what does lot become?
Like, if we're using that? That one's hard.
Using this. Yeah,
So, lotto.
yeah, loto.
Lotto.
And if the word was gap,
Kappa.
yeah, gappa. Um, so this would mean that like you do this with a different language where we're not trying to achieve this.
Right.
But like for your loch, this would become your locha, and uloch would become ulocha, and ralor would become ralora, and chudma would stay the same. Lead would become lidi, tlaloch would become tlalocho, and ag would become aga, and so on and so forth.
I do like that. It does sound cool.
Well, it, like let's again, we can just put this. We have a section for ideas for other
Mhm.
languages.
Yes.
Um,
Other.
um, so this would be copy vowel insertion at the end of words.
Mm.
But what that would mean is that we sorry, a very loud car just came past and it
Mm.
I wasn't ready for that.
Fair.
It would mean that like you I guess this is something that I need to like work out the how you would change it, because for example, like if we were going to say that the A vowel was marking the, like, I mean, we haven't even decided word order yet, have we?
We had a little bit of that for this, didn't we? Based off my weird compounding I did.
Yes, we do have this. Okay. Yes. So we have locatives before verbs. We have adjectives before nouns, which suggests head final. We have objects before verbs, which, to be honest, all point towards SVO. No, SOV.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what this is. Which means that, like, verb final, like, this is the same structure that I used in Pankashku and in Krestu, and Boku's also has this. It's very familiar to me.
Okay.
It means, like, lots of cases quite often. Mostly suffixing, although not always.
Okay.
And, well, to be actually, I'm trying to think of an example of something that isn't a suffix in one. I mean, I can probably. I have a Turkish grammar right here. Or is it a proper grammar? No, it's not. So I won't do that right now. It means that we're just going to get a lot of stuff on the ends of words, is what I'm going to say. But, like, you can see how all of these words already end in a vowel, right? If we,
yes,
and those are all, so these ones here as well. We would have to work out, like, either that there will be CV forms, which means that, like, we have the potential of either something ends in a vowel, or it ends vowel consonant, or in vowel consonant consonant.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're adding, if we add a CV, then everything's fine. This is really a lot.
Yeah.
If we just add a V, then so we get PCV, so if you just go with vowels, this is not the best way to present this information, but anyway.
I'm following.
So you would end up with, like, so you'd basically end up with having two vowels right next to each other, which can be interesting. It can be really annoying.
Yeah.
Although I'm trying to think, like, I don't think Italian has a lot of vowels in hiatus. This is where, like, half of this is just me being like, do I actually know what Italian sounds like?
But we're just
I've been
vibing
doing,
with it.
yeah.
Maybe next
It's just,
stream, what we'll do is we'll just all watch a movie in Italian together and just be like, ah, yes.
Nemo's right. Hindi also has this structure.
Mm,
Hindi doesn't have a lot of suffixes because it's more like Hindi resembles like I want to say it resembles other like modern Indo-European languages, but
mm,
it's a little bit different um, because these are fusional.
mm.
So the fusional bit makes it so that you have a lot of information in these kind of small suffixes.
Yeah.
Um, whereas like compared with Turkish, like Turkish has like loads of suffixes that each mean individual bits, basically. Um, and I tend to lean more like Turkish, unfortunately.
Okay.
Um, okay. Um, we have half an hour left. I feel like if I'd say we can either like plan case structure
Okay.
or we can probably get like 1 to 2 more sound changes. What would you rather do?
I vote we go with plan case structure because it is in my theoretical plans to be spending more time this next like bit working more on building up more underlying words and things that we might want to come up with, which might give us more to play around with
Hmm.
for the sound
Okay,
changes later.
so um, in terms of now, I'm trying to remember everything about case typology that I've ever heard. I might just send you a link for
Mm.
something, and then you can put it up.
Yeah, that works.
And okay, where is my stuff? Um, doo, doo, doo. So, have you spent much time at all on walls? If I say walls, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I mean, I might know what it is, but I might not connect the name with it.
Okay. Should I send it on Discord or in StreamYard?
Discord probably. I mean, unless StreamYard's easier, whichever, I can pull them both up.
I was fine. Okay. So you should get a map.
You enjoyed the face, Nemo.
I did realize afterwards that it sounds like do you spend a lot of time on like the walls of rooms rather
And
than
I was
walls?
like, "Are you asking if I'm a
Yeah.
wallflower, Jake?"
Um.
Ooh, I need to move that.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So, um, if you zoom, first of all, like you can see on the at the key,
Yeah.
Ross will be pleased. We have these values that are um, basically indicate like the darker the color, the more cases.
Mm,
And then if we go to the map, you can see that in Western Europe, we tend to be a little bit lighter on cases,
yeah.
with the exception of Basque, which falls into the 10 or more zone.
Mm,
And then you can see as you go further east, German has 4, Polish has 7, from what I remember of my język polski.
Mhm.
And then Finnish and Estonian, you're back in the 10 or more zone. Um, and then as you come down into the Caucasus, you have like lots of cases, and then Georgian has like 6 to 7 again. Turkish has 6 to 7. When you go into like northeast Africa, you've got more cases, and then as you go further into Africa, I feel like someone talking about the weather. Um, like the cases in most of the African languages aren't very developed,
Mhm.
um, which is just to be incredibly clear, so no one misrepresents me. It doesn't mean that the languages are less developed. It just means that the languages don't need cases to express the relationships between nouns. Um, then,
Yeah.
like, if you look in India, like, um, they haven't got a language they're calling Hindi on here, but they have
Mhm.
Urdu in southern Pakistan. So that for them only has 2 cases. I I'm certain that when you look at descriptions of Hindi, it usually is described as having more. But the details on walls are not really all that important, other than you're basically just looking at the colors to be like, oh, so how many languages have this number of cases and how
Mhm.
many have this number?
Yeah.
And you can see that like most languages don't have cases. And then you have like basically like the highest number with cases is 6 to 7, right?
Yeah.
And then actually as you go up, you get more and more. But that is kind of a reflection of just lots of things being classed as cases. If you look at Aymara, it in Bolivia, it's only considered to have 6 or 7 on here, but they have lots of stuff that fits in that same category. Um, um, but basically, the long and short of it is that if you have fewer cases, they do more things, and if you have more cases, they have more specific things, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, 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 George says it's a kind of bimodal distribution. Does that mean something to you, Maddie? Because I'm worried that my maths is so bad, I don't know what it means.
Bimodal. So bi means two. Two mode distribution.
Fewer instances in the middle ground. Oh, okay, 2 peaks. Thank you, maths people.
I know, I'm like, oh.
Because the mode is like the most common.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the math thingy. I did take Stats 400, but I played Sims the entire time, so
Did you pass?
I got an A.
So clearly you didn't like you still passed though. So like you got
I'm
like
really good at metagaming tests.
okay.
I'm one of those people in school that could write a book report and not have actually read the book and still get an A, like in a high level class. I'm one of those people.
Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Um I ran into this feeling where I could do that, but I chose not to. And then when I chose not to, my grades suffered, and I felt like I should have just tried to play the game, but
Mm,
instead I tried to be a good person, and yeah,
yeah,
my rules following instincts kicked in too hard. I just
yeah. Yes,
um
exactly, George. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the class, right? If I thought the book was interesting, would be useful for me, like, I would go that route, but if I didn't, I'd be like, "Wow."
mhm.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I guess what I'm gonna end up asking you is like we do you I think we do like the idea of the vowel qualities doing case.
Yes, I do
We
like that.
can do that with some consonants so that it isn't just a um it's not just going to be a vowel alternation. And I think
Mhm.
that's slightly less Italian, but as you're saying, like we also know that we're not going to be showing like noun declension paradigms within the context of the book. So
Yeah.
it's not like if we have like guzolo, guzotto, guzomo, guzwa, guzwe. Like they're not gonna like unless you have like a classroom scene and they're learning the declension of
No.
rain cloud or something. Like
No.
it's not really going to be an issue, is it?
No.
Um, so I would say let's try and just like um so I guess the question is how many cases um do you think is interesting?
Let me ask a first question, though.
Okay, yeah.
Will our decision here affect how many cases we would have everywhere else? Like, does the number of cases in the proto matter, or are we talking about the proto?
Um we can be and we don't have to be.
Okay.
So if I would say that like it may given the time frames of the story, it might be more realistic to evolve case independently in each group.
Mhm.
If or but I mean even like we there could be a really old case system that then gets lost if we want to do something super um
Mm.
like analytic, which I think would be good. Doing an analytic language does I think it trains you well as a conlanger
Okay.
because you don't end up like when you did the relay, like Jessie really um like she encouraged you not to just make new stuff, right?
Yeah, like, if there was a way to do it with what I had that kept more with the spirit of what I was doing, then why make more stuff?
Yeah. So um that's kind of uh the way I would do it. So um yeah, yeah. It as George says here, it forces you not to just make another suffix that does the thing that you're trying to do. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we can take the map down and whatever. Um, uh, um,
There we go. Yeah, I took it down while we were looking at the map because it was kind of in the way. Um, but yeah, so I
yeah.
think then let's go with
Okay. Did you see Nemo's suggestion?
to go with 3 in the proto and then evolve for more in the daughters.
Hmm. what's your like internal reaction to the idea?
I like the idea of, because okay, I like the idea of things that will allow me to do different interesting things in the small context I expect to be able to use words, right? So, like, naming places will probably be the place where this would come up the most. Chat is log is super long for me. I don't know. So like I kind of like the idea of having a decent number of cases if we can choose interesting ones that would play fun in like place names and stuff like that. Like I feel like that could be interesting to do.
Like chat lag is about 10 seconds? That does seem long.
I feel like that's normal. It's normally about 8 to 10 seconds behind for
Ah,
where they are and where we are.
okay. Huh. Okay. I feel like for Let's Have a Booba, I try and go for very short delay because I but I know that it
Um,
affects stream quality. So yeah.
well, I don't even know how to change that. I haven't even thought about it. I'm sure there's settings and I'm just like, I don't want to look at that. And this is what we get.
Okay. Um, um, so in that the thing is, Maddie, that like um you can like kind of like with the like with the Chinese example of Shanghai,
Mm, mm,
um Chinese doesn't Mandarin doesn't use any kind of they're just using a compound there. But the compound expresses the same idea or at least half of it is what we'd have in English with these ones.
right. So we kind of want to decide for how we're going to name things in this one is if it's going to matter. Because if it doesn't matter, do we even need to make them at all for this one?
Yeah. This for this it would matter, especially with this idea here, right?
Mm,
If we then say that if the logic is that the final vowel is important
mm,
in this language, um, therefore all words should have a final vowel, which
mm,
which is
right.
going to sound a lot more Italian that way.
Right. So then we'd want at least some basics to
Hmm.
get those, right? Or if that's how we're going to pull them in.
So yeah, if if these if these vowels are added,
Mm,
then we need a minimum marker on nouns.
mm,
And if the you could get the same effect. Like Latin has final consonants, right?
mm,
So one way would be to lose final consonants and then strategically return them.
mm.
So if we this is why having these example words is useful, right?
Yeah.
So um, if we look here, for example, we know that ralor sounds fine. Like it doesn't. I think if I changed my accent slightly more, it would sound even more Italian. But
Mhm.
or I think no, I think it sounds Latinate. I don't think it sounds super Italian. I would expect a vowel there, but
Okay.
It sounds fine. Because we're not going super Italian anyway,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Because we are keeping like the clusters with L and in this one.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but uloch, for example, one strategy would be to remove the C, and it looks like an E, but anyway, like you could say that it's ulo, and then like, but you would have a form ulocha, which would then become ulocha.
do you like that?
It would mean that you would have a like a consonant here that would only show up in certain case forms, which is fine, and it's not unusual. Like I think it's quite common with Austronesian languages. Well, the thing is, there's loads of Austronesian languages, so saying it exists in Austronesian languages is casting a huge net. But like I think that they have like possessive constructions where you get a random consonant popping back out.
Okay. So I think part of the I vote we go cases to pull the vowels in. I like that better than just removing the consonants here. And what if I think the part I'm struggling with how to choose how many, because I'm like, well, but how many of them are gonna matter as much? Because like what George was saying, like obviously we'll have whatever like the default cases, right? And then maybe a genitive, and they're saying, well, ones that could show up in naming languages could be like a partitive and a locative. But how many of them would you need to have that many that are relevant for like potentially place names and stuff?
But you'll um, only know what's relevant in when you go to make the words, and you'll only know what words you can make when you have made the language.
That's fair. So we should just
So,
pick something.
yeah, like I was gonna say like Pankashku has possibly too many locative cases.
Mm.
Um, so I'm gonna like open my document so I can make sure I'm listing them properly. So I mean, if I was gonna name a place in Pankashku, I probably wouldn't use the case system. I probably might like. I think that when people just use compounds to name places, I don't think that that's an unreasonable move.
Mm.
Um,
Let
um,
I think I like the idea of not doing compounds for naming things here. Like I feel like I want to use non-compounds. I feel like we should go with 5 cases.
okay, and are these 5 cases in the proto language, or are we evolving 5 cases?
We're evolving 5 cases.
Okay, cool.
A decision has been made.
So no cases in the proto language as well.
I'm thinking that'll be easier because there's gonna be lots of other things that we can like evolved or like have it changed down, and I feel like cases will be an easier thing just to kind of have it be evolved out separately.
Okay, SOV No proto cases, and also we're not going to do all of them as just vowels, but we have 5, like, other than we're going to lose schwa at some point,
Yeah.
but 5 cases, 5 vowels. It we probably will also affect where each of these vowels are allowed to show up in words as well. So
Yeah.
don't worry too much.
Okay.
Does Italian still have a genitive? No, I don't think Italian has cases, at least in on nouns. Also, Nemo, the Italian stress system isn't predictable as far as I'm aware. Like you can tell from reading, but when I tried to work this out, there wasn't a stress system that we could have used that would be obviously Italian in every situation, especially considering that our proto language is nothing like Italian in structure. Like you're not going to get a word like coloch in modern Italian. Uh,
Mm.
um, but yeah, um, it's it's a funny one. Um, yeah, Italian pronouns have nominative, and then like the third person, they have like the masculine has a nominative, reflexive, accusative, dative, combined, disjunctive, locative, and partitive form,
Okay.
which which is just loads. Like there's so many. Um, so anyway, I feel like 5 cases, like what I would often do is I would go to walls and I would go to like uh, legend, and you can go to like only 5 cases.
Mhm.
Um, um, and it's like, well, Latvian has 5 cases, and then I would go to like Wikipedia and I'm like looking up Latvian, um, and grammar, nouns. So, and then you get there, and Wikipedia is like, it has 7 cases. And I'm like, what's going on, Walls?
Okay.
It's probably just that the vocative isn't used a lot.
Mm.
But it says nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, instrumental, locative, vocative, which, oh, there's 6 declensions and 7 cases. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I'm seeing that the one I looked up too has more.
Which did you look up?
Uh, Serbian Croatian?
hmm I think, like, does that one also have a locative described? Sorry, vocative.
I don't know. It's already gone.
Okay.
This one actually, the one I looked up, I was like, "Oh, I'll look up one that has 4 and maybe it'll say it has 5," but it did actually have 4.
What was that one?
Icelandic.
Okay.
It
Yes.
has nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive.
And it can also be helpful to think about language families. So Serbo-Croatian and Latvian are both Indo-European,
Mm.
as is Armenian, uh, I don't know if Ladakhi is Indo-European or not. So
Don't know.
it's Tibetic. So that might be different. Grammar. And it has 7 cases. Yeah, this is where like you're like, who is counting these? So but it's okay.
What
I think okay, we're at the hour. I'm gonna give you something to mull on again. I think this is exciting for me and doesn't mean you have to do any polls or anything.
Okay.
So do you know what and I'll write this down. So do you know nominative accusative versus ergative absolutive?
So I've watched a lot of videos on this subject. Could I regurgitate the information for you now? No, but I have seen the information.
Okay. Do you want to stick to nominative accusative or are you interested in ergative absolutive?
Give me half a second. Let me see if I can refresh the.
I think that like this is why I'm like maybe if you read that section of Jesse's book,
Yes.
then come back next week and you can
Mm,
be like, I know what ergative absolutive is and I don't
perfect.
want to do it. Which I think I'm gonna tell you now and I'll see how I feel in a week's time. I think that sticking nominative accusative. Actually, no. I think that there would be good things for both. The other thing is tripartite, but I feel like tripartite is not very common. Like it's ergative absolutive is a lot less often frequent than nominative accusative, and
Okay.
tripartite is even less common.
Okay.
This is basically where you have different marking for like the sheep or the alpaca sleeps versus the alpaca sees the human. Like
Okay.
so essentially like nominative accusative, ergative absolutive, the alpaca and the alpaca here, or I feel like this is a terrible example because I'm using English, but anyway. Like
Mhm.
sometimes this would be the same as this. Sometimes this would be the same as this. And sometimes this alpaca, and this alpaca are all different.
Okay.
And on that note, I'm gonna say goodbye.
Yes. All right. Goodbye, everybody. We will be back next week, right?
Yes.
And we will start with that. Okay.
Bye.
All right. Where's the end stream button? Okay, goodbye, everybody. Have a good Halloween if you do Halloween stuff. Oh, wait. I'll be streaming
You're
on
doing Halloween stuff.
Friday briefly for a, well, not briefly, but like for a world building potion stream thing. Yeah. Okay, cool. Great. Also watch other streams. Let's have a boba tomorrow. Okay, bye. I'm clicking the end
Bye.
button.